Yo.
What up? What up?
What up, though? What's going on?
We back.
Let's go.
We back. We had a week off. We back.
We back, man.
Welcome back to the interrogation room.
Let's go. Where were you on the night of the... You don't have the answer, Sway.
Yo, man, there's a lot of shit that's been happening even in my personal life, man, the last couple of weeks, man. But something I gotta share with you. So, you know, proud daddy of three boys, right? My oldest got his license this week.
Oof.
So, dude, you know, like that's the shit that you go, fuck, man. You know, you think back to when you got it, right? So when I got my license at 16 and those feelings of just like, fuck, man, like I got freedom.
You got the freedom, man,
right?
Yeah.
And so I know he's kind of feeling some of that, man. And today, like, officially added them to the insurance. So he's like, as of tomorrow, man, like he's legal.
Yo, congrats, man. I know you listen sometimes, so congrats, buddy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So be
safe out there, man.
Be safe out there. Exactly,
man. Be safe out there.
It's funny, man, because my wife is like really worried about him being out on his own.
Dude, I'm worried. I'm not even. I'm excited.
Don't be feeding
for him.
into that.
No,
shit,
no, not at all. Like I'm excited for him, but there is like a layer of like an additional concern that you have.
Yeah.
But you gotta let the chick get out of the nest, right, and fly from the tree. So. It's the only way. Listen, nothing teaches you better than life and experience, right? So.
Yeah, man. And I'll tell you what, man. There's times that I still drive with him, and I'm still kind of correcting him on some things. But I think for the most part, he's a decent driver for the most part. Man.
That's good. As long as he's not like purposely wreckful or reckless. And
yeah. But the other thing is, man, so the summer's about to be over, right? At least here in Florida, summer vacation.
Is it though? Summer?
Summer
vacation.
No, sorry, not summer. Summer vacation. Summer doesn't end until October. But so my sons got this. They got their schedules. So they're in, the three. Actually, three of them now are high school. All three of them high school. But the two oldest gonna be juniors, and they got their schedule this week. And one of my boys, not the driver, the other guy, he looks at his schedule, right? And there's three classes that have what appears to be the same teacher. So he's like, "Man, I got the same teacher 3 times," and he's like, almost like, "What's going on with this? Like, what is this, like a super teacher?" And it's like, and somebody goes, I don't know who it was, but somebody goes, "Who is it?" And he goes, "Mr. Vacant." It was fucking vacant. Dude, and it's so funny because he goes, "Who's that? I don't know who's this Mr. Vacant." And then my wife looks over at him and goes, "You mean vacant?"
Even I had to stop for a minute, like,
you're like,
are you saying what I think you're saying? But I'm not. I like how you had to preface it by saying it was the one that's driving. So people feel safe out there.
Don't worry, his is coming in about 8 months.
As soon as he figures out Vacant, he's out there. Oh, fuck.
And it's great, man, because he's also the one with like the good sense of humor.
That's
so when
fantastic.
we're just laughing at him, like he's laughing along.
He can roll with it.
He can roll
that's
with
good,
it.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. I can't wait to meet Vacant.
Now the other thing that happened this past weekend,
so
man, they had their cousin over for like a sleepover,
okay.
Right? And I'm always messing with now my kids and like their cousins. These guys are gamers.
Okay.
They're notorious for like my sons are notorious for getting games, and they beat them the same day.
Oh, like they'll just spend the whole day.
Yeah. And I'm always like, man, those games must be, they make them too easy. Back in my day, right? I pulled that shit. Back in my day, you couldn't beat the game in a day.
You better make sure you had enough quarters.
So we're sitting at the dinner table, and my nephew's over there, and we're talking about that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I bet you guys can't beat the old like Super Nintendo Super Mario Brothers.
You can do that in minutes.
Yeah?
There's like speed run records for that shit in minutes. Yeah, you could technically do it in minutes. Yeah.
So I think from years ago when I played it, and I've never beat it. I just don't have the patience for it.
It's so long.
So anyway,
well, Super Nintendo's the first one to let you save too, right? Like on
yeah,
the
that
cartridge,
you saved
yeah.
it, right? And so these guys take me up on the challenge, right? They play almost 9 hours straight
Of the old school Mario. Oh, good for them.
So it was just one of my sons and my nephew, and they played 9 hours straight, and they beat the game. So I had got up because one of my dogs needed to go outside, and it was probably like, I don't know, probably like 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning, and I got up and they were still out there, and they were getting close to beating it, and I was like, holy shit, man, these guys are gonna do this, right?
That's awesome.
So what's great, bro, is that so I get up probably like 8:30 in the morning, and I walk outside, and I see the door open to my son's room. I walk in there, I look inside, I see one of my sons, I see my nephew, but I don't see my other one. Then I go to the other room where they were playing. My son is laid out there on the couch with a blanket on, with the TV on that says "The End" with all of the fucking Mario characters there. And I was like, "That's fucking awesome, man."
He crashed. He probably wanted you to see it, so he left it up.
So
That's awesome.
left it up. It was awesome, man. And I was like, dude.
Awesome.
And so when I talked to them afterwards, and so cool. And I'm like, man, how was that? And they're like, oh, it sucked at some points. It was frustrating, but they just kept pushing each other. And they did it. And it fucking 9 hours straight, bro, to play a game. And in that game, you can't play together.
No, you're taking turns. Dude, so to have the patience to even watch somebody else, and then you're falling asleep over there. You're just...
So they didn't...
And it's cool that it still captures their attention, too. Like, old game. Like, it just stands the test of time.
Yeah.
Too, man. Like...
And it was one of those things that they started at like 9 o'clock at night. I think it started at 10. And then they finished at 7 in the morning.
Holy shit, man. That's crazy. Now that I think about it, I think the speedrun ones are on the original NES, not Super Nintendo.
Okay.
There's ways to like bypass a lot of shit and run, so you can literally beat the game in like a few minutes. But fuck, dude, 9 hours.
9 hours.
That's awesome, man.
So I thought that was really cool, man.
So
and
cool, man.
I kind of used the moment with my son, because the son the one that played, he's always the one that's trying to like get around stuff, and he tries to be kind of slick.
But so he had to put in work on this.
He had to put in work, so I kind of praise him, I praise him, and I'm just like, dude, like, it's not a big deal. It's a video game, but the fact that you were able to kind of stick with it and to keep feeding off each other, and to keep encouraging each other not to stop, because he goes at one point, he goes, we got to a board where it was really hard for us to beat. And I was ready just to save the game and we'll continue tomorrow. And then his cousin was like, no, we got to do it. So they kept motivating each other.
So they wanted to beat it, because like you said, they could have saved it. And
yep.
It's not like it was the other ones where you turn it off and you're fucked.
Yep.
You could have saved it and just kept it moving tomorrow morning, go get some sleep.
Yep.
They wanted it. That's awesome, man.
So that was really cool.
Not like a little peer pressure to keep you going, bro, keep you motivated. I love it. Listen, bro, bullying's good for some things.
That's right. Oh shit, man.
Awesome,
So
man.
sorry everybody. For those of y'all first timers here, welcome. For those of you who are with us most weeks, welcome back to the Carpet Footprint Podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit them with the drink of the day.
Woo, yo, we got a little tasty one this week, man. Throw it down. We calling this the floating flower. It's delicious. We're using Hendrick's Flora Adora gin, which has a really I feel like I'm drinking potpourri, bro. It's like, is that how you say it?
It's
potpourri.
good. Yep.
It's potpourri, but like it's really flowery. Like you can get that taste out of it, man. Like really, really good. So we did a shot of the gin. I did half an ounce of strawberry syrup, half a lime. So it should be about half an ounce of lime or half a lime squeezed into there. And then I topped it off with ginger ale. And then we garnished it with the rosemary from the Garden de la Chane. So it is Dude, it tastes great, man. And I love ginger ale usually with like a whiskey, even tequila.
Yep.
Lately, like just like that'll be my go-to. But with gin, I haven't had it as much. This shit is great, man.
Yeah,
and
this
that
is
little
really
strawberry
good,
thing with the rosemary, just it brings that flavor out, man, and that scent. Oh, it's so
Yeah,
good.
I don't know how it's
I like
going.
this.
I don't know how it's going to hit me tomorrow with this sugar.
Yeah, with the sugar, man. This is my
we'll see.
thotty to. But
it's definitely worth trying. It's really good.
oh my god.
And then the fact that you serve it in a glass, it has that red tone to it, so it looks pretty.
I'm actually really curious now. I want to do a gin and tonic with that gin and the Saint Germain now because of that scent from that. Literally like that very aromatic, like botanical, flowery, like it's so
and
good. Man.
Saint Germain's is a botanical.
Yeah,
right.
So but so on a sweeter side.
Yep.
So like I'm wondering how that's gonna go together. Man, I feel like I'm gonna do a gin and tonic with that too, man. I gotta try that. So the Hendrick's been throwing out their little the sort of the flavors they've been putting out of the Hendrick's gin have all been good, man. I think we've tried like 3 or 4 of them on here, and they're all good, man. But this is very distinct. Like I feel like this is one of those gins where if you tried it without knowing what it was, you would know what it was. Like it's that distinctive. I think that like if I tasted this, I would go, oh, that's the Floridor. Like I feel like I would know that just by tasting this.
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's
it
that
is.
different.
This one's good, folks. So go out there and get you some of the Hendrick's. What the hell is it called? Floridora.
Flora Adora.
Adora.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's which is a Dora flower, I guess. I don't if you want to, I guess, translate it. It's Dora the Explorer. So the floating flower, people, the floating flower. That's what we calling this one. Is banging. And then the Sean's Rosemary's be rosemary and hard, man. They want you to know they're there, man. You open the bag and I can smell it.
Nothing.
It's nothing. You don't put nothing. You don't pesticide. Nothing.
Rain.
Dude,
just straight rain and heat.
That Florida rain and heat, bro, will bring out the best in you. Damn it. These things are phenomenal. Oh my god.
All right, man. Hit me with your carbon footprint. What you got?
Whoa. Yo, my carbon footprint this week is going out to Hollywood, man.
Aren't they on strike?
They are, man. So it's like I feel like they have a lot going on, and that's why. And I feel like these are very important. It's a very important week, coming months, whatever, for Hollywood. And I feel like, we talked about this on here like a few, maybe even a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, like post-COVID, where I thought theaters are dead. Movies are dead.
Oh, yeah.
And
once like the streaming services started to like pick up movies and stuff.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily, I'm not moving away completely from that argument, but what I will say is like, this has been a phenomenal month for movies. And it's a shame that the strike is happening at the same time, because I think this could have been a really good time to sort of turn the tide for must-watch movies, because, between Mission Impossible and Oppenheimer and Barbie, of all things, along with a few others that have come out sort of earlier in the summer, Barbie has broken records. Barbie is done phenomenally. I think last I looked, I think Barbie's pushing 200 mil.
Damn.
It is done. It has crushed. So,
meanwhile, Flash did shit.
Yeah, but it's funny. It did shit compared to budget, but still had a decent. I think it did shit in terms of flop compared to the budget they put into the movie, but it still did like $100 million.
Oh, okay, I liked it. I
thought it was good too. So like it's just weird, man, because like you get this, you get Oppenheimer, you get Mission Impossible. I haven't seen any of those yet.
Yep.
I really want to watch Mission Impossible on IMAX, but now it's completely gone because Oppenheimer's on IMAX. So I'm gonna make sure I try to go catch that in IMAX.
And then just watch IMAX, but like Super 8. Is that what it? Right?
Yeah, so you have to watch. It's like the 70 millimeter. I think it's like the film. So it's like a very distinct. Like I think the closest one to here, you got to go to like Fort Lauderdale to watch it. And,
wow!
And it's true. Like he recorded it in like original true IMAX format. And Nolan always does like this shit. But like what I like about Nolan and usually the Mission Impossible movies that they're generally recorded for IMAX, and so you get these really cool angles that really take advantage of the full screen.
Yep.
You don't get the bars and the cutout and all that stuff. But I think you got great movies that weren't Marvel or weren't these franchise. I know Barbie's a big franchise, but it's a first movie for it. And and I thought it was just awesome to see. And Oppenheimer, obviously, a book / real life story, whatever, adapted for a screenplay. But it's I thought it was just a really good, phenomenal time for movies. But then you mix it with this strike, which is obviously, I think it's gonna sort of it's gonna steal a lot of the thunder from these movies, and maybe this doesn't give it the steam that it deserves.
Yep.
But then there's gonna be like, I think these people might be striking themselves out of a job. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens at Hollywood. That's why I feel like this is a really important time.
But
for movies.
so what is the strike is about what? The strike is about.
So it's two. It's like the writers and actors, and it's the first time they've both have gone on strike together. So there's two unions. There's a writers union and then there's an actors union. And so the writers union went on strike first, and now the actors unions have subsequently sort of followed that. And I think it's the first time in their history that they've have gone on strike together. Because normally you don't have writers, you still have actors, you can create shit, but you don't. You just don't have these guys. But now you can't make anything. So Hollywood's at a standstill. So what you're gonna get is,
but it's striking because of like the streaming services.
Yeah, well, they want more movies or they want more money, obviously. But I think a big sticking point of this is streaming services because they want residuals from the streams. The reason I say I think these people are striking themselves out of a job is I think that if you look at the financials from a lot of these streaming services, they all lose money with the exception of like two. And Netflix was losing money, and I think still do, depending on how you read their financials. But this is the first time, I think, in the last quarter or two that they've been in the black.
I think Hulu does well, too,
and Hulu
right?
does well, yeah. Okay. So I think it's Hulu and Netflix. But Netflix, historically, Netflix loses money. So the Netflix model is like every other sort of like social media or like any of these apps like Uber Eats and Lyft and all that. Their sort of like business model is they all lose money by design, but they buy up market share. Okay. And then their sort of value is driven by, and that sort of drives stock price, like membership and subscriptions and whatever drives up the stock value. They still keep their cash. They can keep creating shit. I think what's going to happen is that you're going to force these streaming platforms to release these streaming numbers, and we're going to realize that they're not as strong as people think they are.
Yep.
And then, because if you look at Netflix always goes like #1 streaming show or the greatest show in the history of Netflix. They never give you numbers. 70 million people streaming. Right? They never give you actual numbers. And so I think that's because the numbers aren't great. So what happens, the numbers aren't great, the stock market's going to react to that, right? Like investors are going to react to oh shit, people aren't actually watching this stuff. So now stock price goes down. Now it's sort of, it's in line with like your stock is down, you're fine, your returns are down, all this stuff. And then I think what happens is you green light less shows, right? Like, so Netflix now pours out a ton of content at will, like there's tons of shows on every week. Dude, there's a new show being released on Netflix, right? Original stuff. If you think about the shit that people watch on Netflix most of the time, it's not original content. Like the things that, like Stranger Things, yes, huge, that was their sort of home run that they hit. And you might have like Tiger King had a moment, and Squid Games had sort of like a moment, big IPs. But Tiger King, I would say, is probably dead. And Stranger Things, you can build an IP off of and build video games and do all that stuff. And so you have something there, and probably with Squid Game. But the rest of the shit that people watch on these platforms is always like Friends and The Office and Seinfeld and, all shit that wasn't theirs. And that stuff started leaving to their, whatever the other platforms are, because these companies started launching their own. I think what's going to happen is that because they're going to release stream numbers, we're going to see that they're weaker, then less shows are going to get made, which means these people get less work. And maybe they get more money, but there's going to be less opportunity. So less of them employed, less of them, it's like it's a double-edged sword. Gotcha. Because I do think that they deserve more money. I do think they deserve to get some kind of cut for something. But then I go, do they? If people aren't watching the shows, then why am I paying you more? And then I don't agree with that. They should like I know one of the big sticking points right now is AI. Like they want to be able to take you and then take your likeness, pay you for one show or one commercial or one whatever, and then use you in perpetuity and never pay you again for that. I don't agree with that. I think they should pay you every time they use your face.
Didn't they? Is it James Earl Jones, the voice for Darth Vader?
Yeah,
I think they pretty much paid him like, we're going to use it forever.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people doing that. Like I think Howie Mandel has done something similar. There's a lot of people who are signing deals with AI companies saying you own my likeness in AI, you can use it forever. But they're getting paid, and their deal, a good deal is in the eye of the beholder, right? Those guys, maybe they get 10 million to do that, and they're like, cool, that's good enough for me. Yep. Maybe they get 50, maybe they get 30, whatever. Like it's different for everybody. I don't agree with that. Like some of these actors, like even say a background actor is getting scanned while filming, and they're going, we're going to use that forever, so they can use you as a background sort of actor forever. I don't agree with that. Like, because I think the people see this and they think, like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. Like it is, but the vast majority of these people aren't people making that. Yeah, that. They're people who this is a normal job for them, who, are making, they're making an okay living and they're able to support themselves and their family, whatever. You're not talking about the people making 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars, for a movie. You're talking about normal actors who are making maybe 10, 20, 30 with 100K, whatever, a movie. So I think that I don't agree with, but it's funny because I'm like, man, I don't know how you combat this and fight for this without sort of screwing yourself long term, because at the end of the day, the studios aren't going to lose. And then if the revenue doesn't support, sort of the shows that you're making, a lot less things are going to get made, and so it's like, man, do you get less work now and you end up in the same place? And maybe that's what you want. I don't know.
Yeah, it's either that or do the really good actors and actresses end up taking a bigger market share,
right? And
then the other ones take even less.
Because if I can use AI, would I prefer a Robert Downey Jr. AI than Juan? You know what I mean? Like even if it's a background character, if I can pay Robert Downey Jr. to use his likeness in perpetuity and whatever that, I just use that forever. Like you can amortize that expense over several projects, several years, like.
So how long has it been going on?
It's been a couple months now for the writers. I think the actors are going on a month. The other part that I thought was weird about this was that a lot of actors immediately stopped promoting projects. So they stopped showing up on like late night shows and they stopped showing up, which again, I think is counterintuitive to what you're trying to do, because if I already made a project, and don't you want to promote that project and ensure that it does the best that it could possibly do, so that not just me as, the actor, but all the camera guys and stage hands and makeup artists and like all the people who it takes, the hundreds of people it takes to do a movie, you want to make sure they all get taken care of, and that project is sort of like, it has a good sort of history, so then when they get another job, they can sort of hang their hat on, I was in Barbenheimer and it made X amount and da-da-da. Like, I would think that you would say, no, we already made that. Like, I understand we're on strike, but I got to ensure that this makes as much money as possible, because it sort of helps our argument. Like, it's just...
Yeah, no. And I'm wondering is are they doing that on their own merit, or is that just part of being on strike?
I think it's part of being on strike. Like, you can't do anything. If it has anything to do with the film, then you're not allowed, a project that's already done that falls under these unions, and you're not allowed to sort of have anything to do with it right now.
Dude, do unions still work, bro?
Listen, as someone who's worked at a place that had a union.
I've worked, yes. So
yeah, both of us, actually. Yeah, I don't think that they have here's the problem, is unions don't do a good job of promoting your good employees. Everybody wants to look at the protections that they offer, fine. But they don't necessarily do a good job of ensuring that employees are sort of like performing at their best, or that your best employees are sort of taken care of versus your worst employees. It treats them all equally.
Right.
A union is communism, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's like,
yeah, right. It probably works in a small group, but when it gets too big,
dude, I think it works middle America. Towns that don't have a lot going on, and you have a union job, and you want to make sure these people are getting paid fairly and have fair pensions and whatever else, and they're building cars or whatever. Fine, I get it. It doesn't work, I think, on the coast. It doesn't work on, I don't know. It just seems like it seems like an antiquated idea. It definitely needs like a shift in mindset.
Yeah, man, I've worked with people and I've known people that have really been kind of into the union, and it's for the protection part of it. I've also worked in that same place with other people who are just like, nah, Joe Schmo next to me, just because he's been here as long as me, gets paid as much, but he does have to work. He doesn't get in trouble, so they don't fire him, but his work ethic is horrible.
And I think
he doesn't put out.
And I think that's what it's really missing, because I understand the protections, like companies were abusive of employees or whatever, but
all that shit comes from a good place.
But you go, it comes from a good place, the intention, but the unintended consequences are where we're at today. And to your point, like, does it serve us anymore in this? And it's funny, man, because I've seen more companies trying to unionize now, or more sort of like, you saw it with like the Uber drivers. There's other organizations now. I think there's even like sex workers trying to unionize in certain states. There's like, yeah, man, I don't know how you create a union and then
is there a time limit?
Make it equitable for everybody, really.
Is there a time limit on this thing? or are they just
no?
like,
It can go in perpetuity, man. And they just
Yeah.
got a massive donation. I think The Rock just donated a ton of money to SAG-AFTRA, which, like, according to them, single largest donation they've ever received. They didn't release the number, but they said it was the single largest donation they've ever received from an individual or company or whatever. And
Oh, wow.
So I wonder if that would essentially pay salaries and pay these people who, because to me, I went, there's no way this lasts long. Like, it's resolved before the end of the year, because again, this isn't, Robert Downey Jr. And I keep using him just because it's a big name, not that he had any anything to do with this per se, but it's like he can afford to sit around, right? But the vast majority of the people who are impacted by this are normal people working normal jobs. They just happen to be in the entertainment industry. And it's like, those guys, can they go 6 months without a paycheck?
Right.
Can they go a year, 2, 3? Because some people are saying
Not
this is
many
going to
people
last
can,
2 or
bro.
3 years. And I don't think many people can. So, and people will cave, man. You see this with every union. You see this with teachers unions. You see this with like the package industry. You see this with, like theme park industry. It's like, eventually they cave because the collective is really strong and gun-ho the first week. They start to get less strong and gun-ho as they start to miss paychecks, and they start to figure out they need to put food on the table and they need to pay for their place to live.
and what
and
do
all
you
that.
do? I mean, you can't file for unemployment, right? How
wouldn't
does this
think
happen?
so. And then you can get back pay, but you're hoping that you come to a resolution and you get back pay later, right? But that doesn't help you in the immediate future. So I'm thinking organizations like SAG maybe have like a fund that they sort of help and they continue to pay these guys. And maybe that's where The Rock's money goes. I don't know. But that I just keep thinking like, no, there's no way this drags out for years. Like, these people cannot go this long without collecting a paycheck.
man,
and I hope they get what they want and what they deserve based on sort of the environment we're in right now.
Yeah, based on the market.
Yeah. So
Yeah, man, I don't know, man. That's really, they say that you should have like 6 months in reserves, and right. Let's be clear, right? Most people don't have that.
right.
And so, but even those that do, 6 months goes by very fast.
Very fast.
And if they don't have a resolution, in
Is this
6
why
months,
you want to
then what?
use it? Do you want to use this during a strike? Your 6 month reserve isn't meant to be. It's supposed to be you quit and maybe you go find something, or you want to sit around, not be. And I guess maybe hopefully you sit out for 5 months and then you get paid back and you replenish.
Right.
But that's all speculative.
dude.
But
Well,
yeah, man, and it's a
good luck
shame
to
because
Hollywood.
it's such a good time, like I said, for movies. In terms of like the movies coming out in theaters, people are going to see them. Barbie has done phenomenally. Shout out to their marketing team, has done a brilliant job of making that movie just at the forefront, and have partnered or sort of figured out a way to embed Barbie in everything. I've seen it. I've seen them do real estate things. I've seen them do candy things and ice cream things and
Dude,
fashion things. I mean, they're everywhere.
I don't want to see it, but I want to see it.
Yeah, same. I had zero interest, and now
Right.
I'm like, nah. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, nah. I'm kind of curious. Like, you got me. Like with the marketing, and then obviously, I really wanted to see Oppenheimer. Just looks like a phenomenal movie. I'm always interested with anything in that, and that's World War II, and just knowing that story and reading that. It's going to be bananas just based on the fact that Nolan's doing it. The Mission Impossible movies always deliver because Tom Cruise is a nut and he does all his own shit. So I watch everything of his and I try to watch it in theaters, and because I'm like, he's one of those guys where I go, oh, I'm absolutely, you can take my money. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to deliver. Like, so,
Dude, so let me ask you. So then if this thing let's say it goes on for a year,
yeah.
I guess we'll get to a point where there's no movies coming out, at least out of the U.S.
Right. What you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of, the movies that are already made. Maybe they delayed, they pushed
Correct.
them. Like Napoleon, which looks like a great movie.
I haven't seen
Napoleon.
that.
Oh, dude, what's his name is playing Napoleon? Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh,
And it looks awesome. And it comes out at the end of this year.
He played a good asshole Julius Caesar.
Yeah, dude. So he did. And then there's, I think that movie has a Gladiator, and I think there's a part 2 to Gladiator slated to come out, which I think they had to stop filming in Deadpool. But the ones that are already done, you go, do you push those dates? Like, do you start to spread those out? And then regular TV, what it turns into is like a lot of reality TV. And then a lot of shows that are on like streaming platforms, they'll end up putting them on like ABC, NBC, so like maybe something that was only on Netflix or Hulu or whatever. Now they'll go, oh, well, let's play it this fall.
So what about like the film crews that do the weekly shows and stuff like that? Are those guys on strike too? This is just writers.
Yeah, it's just writers. So for example,
Writers
like
and
a Tonight Show has joke writers, right? Those
Yeah.
guys are on strike. You have to do your own jokes. So like I'm sure like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, they have to write their own sets right now because their writers are supposed to be on strike. But the camera crew, I think they struck a couple years ago.
So they're good.
They're okay. They're good.
They're whole.
I think this is strictly just the writers and the actors. So then what you get is a lot of reality TV. You're going to get a lot of game shows. You're going to get a lot of shit like that happening over the next probably 6 months. Because the other thing too is like any show that was going to come out in the fall would be filming now. They're all on pause. They're all stopped. So, fall is normally like a really big TV time. Right. Like September, October to November, you get like all those big primetime shows. They're going to get replaced with a lot of streaming shows that they'll just push to network TV. And then a lot of reality and game shows and all that kind of shit is going to come out. Which, dude, the other part of this argument, man, and not to take fucking our entire podcast talking about this, but like already, I'm sure your kids are the same way. Already our kids and most people watch just YouTube. And if you're YouTube is like eating people's lunch right now with content because they have so much of it, and it's just you and I. We roll up a camera, we just record, we do whatever. There's no production costs, there's no writers involved, there's no. And then if you're YouTube, you just roll that out. People are making it, and you pay them, whatever. If you get to advertise, you get to do all that stuff. I think it's really hard to compete with that model, right? Like you think about like HGTV does a show with somebody flipping houses, but now somebody on YouTube can go buy houses, record themselves buying it, record themselves remodeling, and then put it on YouTube for free. And they may have, there's people who do that who have an episode a month and they do just fine. And that's how they make their living between flipping houses and a YouTube show. It's really hard to compete with that model now. So I don't know how these network TV execs really need to change sort of their mindset on how they contract these things and what they're going after and all that, because people aren't watching like network TV. Like there's very few appointment watching shows anymore. Like it's all streamed. And like, I don't know, I'm sure your kids are the same as mine. My kids strictly almost
do not watch TV, bro.
Dude, they all watch YouTube. Yeah. And then what I've noticed is the Netflix shit they watch or any other streaming platform, like whether it's Disney or Netflix right now, they're watching old shit that I watched growing up. They're watching like Kenan and Kel and iCarly and Victorious and that kind of stuff. Kids. Yeah, my kids are watching that stuff right now. And I'm like, okay, so you're not even watching anything new. And then the new shit you're watching is you're watching it on YouTube and all the week to week, and you're watching streamers and you're watching all these YouTubers. And I go, you go down the YouTube rabbit hole, there's an endless supply. If you're interested in cars,
it doesn't matter what it is.
There's an endless supply of cars. There's an endless supply of houses. An endless supply of flowers. An endless supply of drinks. And it's like, how do you compete with that? Like, that's why this is a fascinating time for Hollywood, man. I'm really curious to see like.
Yeah, I want to see where it goes.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see where it goes because less shit's gonna get greenlit. And then does that mean we get more trash because all we're gonna get are big blockbuster, like big name, Transformers and maybe only Marvel and shit like that? Or is this the emergence of independent films, kids who did start on YouTube and then now maybe they're making some money and they sort of get a chance to fund these indie projects, and maybe you do get really good art out of it because you can fund it because it's easier to get on YouTube, get some money, and then maybe you release a movie in theaters. Like maybe this helps in a way, like sort of not directly, but like and indirectly it helps like maybe make better movies in the long run. Like,
so
I don't know.
The strike is against who? Like the production companies?
Right. It's those union workers. So like those production companies. So any studio has to hire any writer or actor they hire. Usually all these people belong to these same unions. So you're not allowed to hire them. And if you're not allowed to hire them, then you essentially can't film. So you can do all this other shit. You can still edit and stuff like that, but like you can't do reshoots. So if a movie's done and needs a reshoot, you can't do it right now.
Oh wow! And
then I don't know what the rule is behind AI. Can you use Ryan Reynolds to finish up Deadpool, like his likeness, and finish up Deadpool using AI?
Are they not finished with that?
No, they were filming and they had to shut down.
Wow.
So like that's another one. It's like, okay, that movie could have been done. Yeah, like does that now not start filming until next year?
Right.
Again, I don't know. Or can they finish it with what they have? And then use an AI to supplement. Are they even allowed to do that? I don't know. Like, it's going to be
because it's his likeness, right?
Right. And maybe he signs, something that says like, yeah, you go ahead, like, and I'll record lines later, like dub it or what. I don't know. Like,
I don't know, man. That's crazy.
Sorry, that took up like half the podcast. Talking about nerdy shit, and we lost all of our listeners. Hit like and subscribe if you're still around. Hit like and subscribe.
All right, man. I made sure with mine, man. Mine's going out to the U.S. government. Because they trying to put blindfolds.
They fucking with us this week, damn it. I know they fucking with us.
So I'm sure you've seen this, man. The former intelligence official, David Grush, I think that's the way he pronounces his name.
I sure did, bro.
Testified in front of Congress that the U.S. government is in possession of alien aircraft and their pilots.
Yeah,
they're non-human pilots.
He's a biological. What is he? He's the word like biological.
Biologically not human. Some shit like that.
Yeah, some shit like that. But damn it, bro, we're about to get hit with some crazy. If you just Google whatever news is happening right now, Biden either fell down another set of stairs, his dog is biting more people, he's dead, something, bro. Biden dead.
We knew he was an alien.
Because when they telling us about the aliens and they rolling out like credible people under oath, telling us it's aliens, I mean something going on, bro.
Because and this guy is being touted as like a whistleblower, right? But it's really strange to me. So under oath with Congress, they were asking him direct questions, and there were some questions where he goes, "They're like, I can't tell you."
Yeah, because I wonder.
I'm not at liberty to say that.
Yeah, I wonder if he still has to stick to his employment contract. I don't know.
But so how are you a whistleblower?
Because, I don't know. Could you get charged with treason? Like, is that a double-edged thing? Like maybe that's one of those things where it's like that's how they fuck you, because like you can go to jail, but then you're a whistleblower. But are you only a whistleblower if you're anonymous? Like you have to.
But that's the shit, man. So I'm going like, okay, so then, and again, you've seen enough movies, you've heard enough stories to go, you know what? If the government doesn't want you to say shit, like you disappear.
Dude, you can't be a whistleblower for the government. No. If you think about it. Like, because your contract with the government prohibits you from being a whistleblower. So innately, they're the same government that is sworn to protect you will not protect you for exposing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
even
like,
from themselves.
Even from themselves. Yeah, like it's like a really weird, like you saw this with Snowden. Like,
that's right.
You know, like he's still whatever in Russia somewhere, and he's sort of, he's being, a lot of people think he's a patriot, a lot of people think he's a treasonous, and so like he's sort of exposing the same government that is supposed to protect him and who's supposed to protect us, and he's exposing the like shady shit that they did, and yet he can go to jail for the rest of his life. Like it's just like really strange, man.
Dude, and the whole thing with no, I've never seen aliens. I've never seen spacecrafts. I've never seen anything that I would perceive to be a UFO. However, I do think that there's other intelligent life out there. I think I'd be stupid not to.
It is estimated that there's 100 billion planets in the galaxies in the sky. 100 billion planets.
I think that's only in the Milky Way.
Yeah. There is no way that there is an intelligent life. Like, there's just no way. Like I say, we can't be arrogant enough to think that, man.
There's, what the hell was it, man? So there's like, in the Milky Way alone, there's an estimated 100 billion stars. And from what I understand, there's at least one planet orbiting each one.
Yeah.
Now, are they habitable planets? Maybe not.
You see, they did just find one. They did identify. It has a cool last name. I can't remember the name. Fuck, I wish I could remember it. But there's a planet that's 31 light years away that they say is extremely similar to Earth. Parts of it that they're like, oh, you could inhabit that, and it would only take
and that would be
31 light years to get there.
Yeah, and so even with that, you go like, okay, a human could live there, but is a human the only form of life? Obviously not. So,
well, that's the other thing is I think our perception of life is we always tie it to us, and you go things that live on these planets would adapt to their. So we always look at planets like, can we inhabit them?
Right.
But that doesn't mean that other things can inhabit these planets. The other sort of microorganisms, or even just because life could be water, right? Like life could just be plants. Life could just be cells, right? Like literally, I guess the definition of life is really, really.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's like. Looking at the vastness of the universe and from what we know of the universe, right? I saw something else, man, where it was like, so there's 100 billion other stars in the Milky Way galaxy. In the observable universe, there's somewhere between 100 to 200 billion galaxies. Insane. It's retarded, bro. Yeah, it's retarded. So I mean, it's almost one of those things where you go like, okay, yeah, like of course there's aliens and whatever. Like I don't. So it's not, to me, like, it's not big news. You don't see pandemonium out in the streets, right? Like,
bro,
nobody fucking, like, it's.
This is
I
how
don't know if
wild
people just don't
life is
believe
right
it,
now.
or-
Is that, I think part of it is we probably think it's clickbait, like it's so far fetched, and then like
And it's like, show me.
and then you have us who are like, we were like fucking like I want this shit to be true, so I'm like all in. Like I saw these headlines and I'm like, no fucking way, and I'm like watching the video of this guy, but then immediately I went, what the fuck is going on in the news today that the government is willing to tell us about aliens? So I thought,
Right.
like, oh, Biden's dead, they're switching out the body.
But it's true, man. Like, you wonder if there's anything going on, you know, like, pay attention to what bills get signed this week.
Oh,
and,
my God,
and
yeah,
what
yeah.
laws get signed, and you know, maybe there's some shit in there that they don't want us to know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but a lot of this shit comes to light sometimes when there's other shit going on in the
You
background.
Second Amendment folks better pay attention. Maybe this is the week they're taking this shit away. Aliens exist. Sign this right here. Dude, it's so crazy, man. I'm like, it's so bizarre how it's funny, man, because a lot of these stories have been coming out more and more, and they're barely making the news. And I'm like, how is this not just like the main headline now on everything, bro?
Yeah. But is it? I don't even know if it's that important.
Well, I think a lot of us have come to the sort of like we're at peace with, or I think the presumption is like, of course there is. I think maybe that's where a lot of us stand, is where like, of course there's like, you know, like I think that's maybe that's part of it of why we're not impressed. I guess is that we assume that
Either you assume that there is, or you just assume that there's not.
right.
So, like, I had some Jehovah's come to the house this past weekend.
Oh boy.
And you know, the Jehovah's believe that that humans are gonna inherit the earth.
Yeah, like this is heaven, right?
This is heaven.
Yeah.
Right. And then they were sort of asking me how I felt about that, and I was like, well, that's a flawed concept, because like the sun's gonna distinguish one day, you know, and then without going into how it's gonna suck in the earth.
It's toast.
You know, the earth can't survive without that. So I go, yeah, this is not like forever paradise.
Well, this goes to the whole thing like we were talking about a few weeks ago, where like there has to have been a cataclysmic event on Earth, and I know more and more evidence keeps coming out where the Earth is like now twice as old as we think it was, or life, sorry, on Earth. And then like you go, there's been, you know, like the sort of the theory of the Big Bang wasn't the only Big Bang. It was just like the latest Big Bang that sort of gave us this iteration of life and as we know it. But there was like hundreds and hundreds of Big Bangs before that. Potential, you know, like, so it was like,
right.
so like to your point, it was like the reset's been done a bunch of times, bro. Like probably, like more, like likely, like over billions of years. You figure like this place has been wiped out. Life came back, wiped out. Life came back, wiped out. You know, like over and over and over again. I don't think the Jehovah's are gonna like that. I'm sure they have an answer for it, but.
They didn't. I have had one in the past tell me that God's not gonna let that happen.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm like, okay, well then,
Yeah,
there you go.
You can't argue with that, man.
Yeah, right.
Sound logic. It's just because I said so. That's what. Oh man, it's gonna be nuts, man. This whole, I'm really curious to see how this whole shit with him plays out with the aliens and all that stuff. And then do they just start fucking rolling them out on TV, bro? Imagine they just start doing tours.
I want to see
Area 51.
I just want to see, like, just show it.
Would you even believe it though?
I mean, I believe it already.
Yeah, something. But
Right,
I'm saying,
like, I
but if
believe
you
it
saw
already.
tomorrow,
It's
like
just
on
like-
TV, they were like, "Oh, here's a tour," and then they showed like alien bodies on a slab somewhere, like in a, I don't know, like would we be like, would it make you more?
I tell you what, I wouldn't. I'm not. I guess I'm interested, but I'm not, because it wouldn't be surprising. Like, I wouldn't travel to go see that. One of
Right.
the things that I would, if it was close to me, I'd go see it. But other than that, man, I wouldn't. I think I would just leave it alone and just be like, all right, you know, whatever, man.
Yeah,
Dude, talk to me about this.
So good, man.
About something happened in Florida this week with Black History.
yo, Florida's going Florida, baby. We you seen, you know, obviously there was a lot of controversy here because they took out a lot of the teachings and stuff that were about diversity, a lot of Black history. So of course they had to roll out a new diversity program of how you teach sort of African American history and
Is it? So it's just here.
It's just in Florida, so it's a
Okay.
new curriculum on how you should teach Black history in Florida. I think the main thing that stuck out that sort of made the headlines this week is that they're sort of focusing on slavery, and the focus on slavery is that slavery wasn't all bad because Black folks got to learn trades that they got to apply post-slavery. So, and this isn't just me.
You should be
this
grateful.
Is literally the curriculum is like, oh, but slavery wasn't all bad because they learned skills that they got to use later in life to sort of be productive members of society and make a living. That's literally a part of the passages that they're teaching now. Yeah, bro.
Is that real, bro?
It's absolutely real. 'Cause I've seen like multiple teachers now like sort of share the syllabuses that they're getting too of like, nope, this is how it says. It's like you're supposed to talk about the positive that came from slavery as well, not just the negatives. And the positives are like, what about the skills?
I mean, I would say that the positives was that the country got built.
Yeah, right. Like,
know,
we got the White House, and we got.
I mean, right? A lot of the country got built. A lot of the you think about the South and the cotton that was produced in the South and picked by the slaves was sent up north to the factories that produce clothes, and right the economy and the country's economy was built largely on fucking slaves, man. So like, if you want to talk about the quote unquote positive, I mean, I guess you could say, well, that's how the country got its start.
Yeah.
But to call it a positive is wow, man.
Kind of wild, bro. Like, I'm like, yo, so
like, who the fuck approved that
so
curriculum?
going back to Oppenheimer, had the Japanese not bombed Pearl Harbor, wouldn't have made that atom bomb, would we? See?
You haven't seen the
Glass
movie,
half
right?
full, bro. No.
But I'm assuming they were working. Well, not assuming they were working on that long before the.
Yeah. I think
bombing of Pearl
the idea of that bomb was originally to use it on Hitler, but we beat him first, and then it was one of those where like, nah, fuck it, we using it. Like the story, if I remember the story of Oppenheimer correctly, and that the way that whole thing played out was like, and I've been to like a couple of museums and I've read a lot on him in the past, but it was like it was being made. Obviously, I think the idea was you'd end up using it on Hitler or in Germany. You would bomb Germany.
Yeah, because
he
was trying to like take over everything.
Yes, so it was like, we're gonna fuck this dude up. And then when you couldn't do that because you had already sort of won that, the focus shift to Japan. But it was almost like they were like dead set on using it somewhere. Because it was kind of made. It was just like, fuck it, somebody get in the smoke. We don't know who, but somebody get in the smoke.
Dude, so, I read stories from the guy that dropped the first one.
Yeah.
And then as he drops it and then he turns around to kind of fly away, and then turns back and sees that mushroom cloud and thinks to himself, what the fuck did I just do?
Oh, dude, I saw that at the World War II Museum.
Oh, yeah?
I saw it's awesome, dude. They have audio of like interviews of him from back then, and it's him talking, and he's walking you through when he drops it, and he talks about that moment where he knew it was a bomb, but he didn't know what kind of bomb or what he had. And, I think he knew it was like a newer type of bomb or whatever.
Right.
And this is back when you don't have a missile that locks in. You're literally just like timing it, you're dropping it, and hits. And he was saying that he did this. What did we just like? What did I just
do? Yeah.
And it's something that haunted him. Like things stuck with him. He saw like the amount of.
I would imagine the devastation, right?
Yeah.
You find out the next day or that even that same day, the devastation that bomb.
Dude, have you seen
to that
like
area.
to this day, cancer rates and radiation levels in that area are like insane. And there's cancers to this day that you trace back to that are only in existence because of that.
Wow.
Like, I want to say,
how the fuck are they our friends? Like, seriously.
They weren't for a while, man. If you think about you think about Japan, like today, like, right, super modern city, really built up, really all that stuff. It's really because we kind of forced them to rebuild their country, right, in the last 50 years, right? And so it's looked at as very modern and populated and all that stuff, but they kind of, they would have had more of a path of New York, or it was like old historic versus, what they are now. But I don't know, man. I guess at that point in time, you're like, well, fuck, message received, bro. Like, we can be, you know what I mean? Like, you're just that nice. Like, we don't want to be on your bad side. Like, it's just, bro, that whole era of Eisenhower and who was it, Truman, that made that decision on the bomb, and then around that JFK era, that whole era in American history, that like 20-year span is really fucking interesting, bro. And the more I read about that, the more like documentaries I watch, the more you just go like, the government was at its fucking wildest, bro, between like the 40s and like the 60s, 70s, man. It just did crazy shit behind our back just all the time, bro. Like it was.
What just makes you think of what's happening now?
Yeah, right.
You
Like,
know,
are
you
we
never know,
naive to
right?
think like, man, our government used to, or you just have
Right.
to assume that
No, they're
do.
better now.
Yeah, they're better about hiding it now, man. Like, you know, or they're keeping us entertained talking about aliens on fucking podcasts and Oppenheimer movies from, you know, shit that happened 100 years ago.
Dude, speaking of that area of the world, Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about stopping people from smoking.
Oh yeah, you seen that? How they want to stop you from? They basically want to shame you into stopping smoking. So
How are they doing that?
So they want people. If you see a smoker in public, you should stop and stare at them in shame, and just shake your head like.
How much is the population smoking? How much of the population is
I
smoking?
don't know, man. You figure it's got to be a real problem still if you're still trying to do that, or is it so little that you go?
That's
We're
what I'm
gonna get
thinking.
the remnants right of the.
Well, you go, the vast majority of people have stopped.
Yo, but it goes to what we were talking about earlier, bro. Peer pressure, dog. People keep looking at you in public, and you get embarrassed. And then does it force you to just smoke less, maybe behind the scenes, or do you? Like, I don't know that you're quitting.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just
you
not,
are,
not,
man.
not,
Like,
not
if
in
you're
public,
at work
maybe?
and everybody at work is kind of like, oh, you're smoking. You know, like. Because back then, remember, people used to smoke like in the office, and I'm sure you
Dude,
probably worked at a point in
everywhere,
time
bro.
where people would smoke at work, right? Like,
Not inside. When I
smoke
began
breaks were
working,
a thing outside, right? Like,
are they still not?
I don't know people anymore. I do remember when I first started working, and this is like early 2000s, I guess. But like, people
But
would
we
take
knew
smoke
people.
breaks outside. Yeah, like we knew people who took
Yeah.
smoke breaks outside. I don't know anyone that does that anymore. I haven't seen it. I haven't even seen areas like designated for smoking anymore.
Oh, wow.
In fact, I've seen like the opposite, like no smoking, like anywhere. Like,
Is the tobacco industry hurting right now? Yeah, I don't know.
interesting, man. I don't know. You would think so, right? But maybe they're figuring out another way.
The vape.
That's true. Well, vapes are bad for you now too, right? I don't know.
Everything's fucking bad for you. Bro.
Yeah. Juuls and all that shit, aren't they all banned? No, they're just
What's that?
the vape. Like there's a specific brand of vape, I think.
They're banned?
I think so, aren't they? What's the one that was killing kids and people left and right? One of them. We should know this. So for kids show up at home, especially now that they
What
can
is
drive. Is that a Juul? Don't buy that one. You hear that one's killing kids. But I think it was like everything else. Remember when like hookah and like vaping was big, and we're like, no, this shit can't be good for you, bro. You're smoking out of a battery. People were like, nah, it's better than cigarettes. And you're like, yeah, but you're
Yeah,
smoking out of a
probably
battery.
not.
And they're just like, nah, it's good for you. And now they're like, that shit is horrible. It's killing you quicker than the tobacco was. You're just
Now,
like,
why is that? It's because of the chemicals inside.
yeah,
of
it's something to do with like
right?
the chemicals, and then it's like fucking your lungs up really bad. There's like people dying like instantaneously in some cases from like, I forget what it's called, but it's something to do with their lungs. But like they're getting these diseases really fast. You know, where like,
Oh, wow.
I'm not saying that you should smoke till you get lung cancer, but lung cancer takes a long time to develop. Generally, these kids are getting I forget what it's called, but it's other diseases with the vapes that are killing them in months or weeks or whatever, not years over time of use. So,
Dude, did you see LeBron's son?
dude, that is scary, man.
Yeah, man. For those of you that have not seen, I'm sure most of you have. LeBron James' son, Bronny, freshman, about to be a freshman actually at USC, had cardiac arrest this week, and got rushed got treated on site, rushed to the hospital, was in the ICU for a little while. Has since been released. And I guess he's doing okay. They haven't been really giving a lot of updates, but
Yeah, they
he's
haven't.
not in ICU, and I think he's back home. But then
That's so
I had
scary, man.
I had to do, when I first heard cardiac arrest, I go, is that a heart attack? But it's not. No, so
It's
the
not a blockage.
right. So the heart attack is the blockage, and then the cardiac arrest is literally where your heart stops or malfunctions. So it basically just goes, it stops doing its job.
It's usually like electrical. It's induced by electricity because your body runs on electricity.
Okay.
So usually it's like almost at stops. So it literally just stops working.
just
It's
has
like the
everything.
battery dies.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could die in minutes.
Yeah. Like if you don't treat it, like if somebody doesn't defibrillate you or you don't get that, you know,
Like
you
if you're in
like
the,
CPR
if you're in
or
the
whatever.
woods or whatever, like it's the wrap.
Dude, if he has that, let's say he's shooting around by himself
At home.
post practice or even at home, he probably doesn't make it. If you know, like, so
Is that fucking nuts, bro?
as scary as that is, the fact that it happened, where it happened, when it happened, and all that, it saved his life.
Yeah.
Potentially. And then
It's like DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah, DeMar Hamlin, right.
Like, he got hit exactly in the right spot.
and his
cardiac arrest.
super dude, and he's a full participant in camp now, so he's coming back.
Oh yeah, really.
I'm curious to see what that does to you mentally, man. Like on both sides, on you getting hit and the person hitting you. What does that do when you see DeMar Hamlin? Like, are you like, I don't know, man. Like, does that play into your head? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
I
I
don't have
don't
time
know,
to think
dude.
of that. But dude, Bronny James is like 18-year-old kid, and I know people are talking about like this is potentially career ending, but it's like it's not even the thing you're thinking about at this point because you're going, man, he's an 18-year-old kid who could have died, and obviously scary, and you go, hope they figure out
From
what caused
practice.
it.
I mean, he was just practicing. I don't think.
Practicing something he's played his whole life, right? So it's probably not much harder than anything he's done. I mean, for
Right.
fuck's sake, he's LeBron James' kid. So you figure this kid's been through it, like workout wise, and
Yeah, and not only that, man. It's like LeBron has had access to some of the best like technology to
Oh my
keep
God.
his body in the kind of shape that it's in. So
world class, cutting edge.
right. So you go.
Everything, yeah.
He's doing whatever he can for his kids, right?
Yeah.
So Bronny's in phenomenal shape. One of the top basketball players, high school basketball players in the country.
He's ranked 20 in the country.
Dude.
Yeah.
And to go, your heart stopped?
And you go, is this a blessing in disguise that they found some issue that he had that could have potentially killed him in another way? If he's not doing this, to our point, like, does he go into cardiac arrest in the shower or where, like, you just never know. Or is this because of basketball? Like, was it the physical strain of the activity? Was it that, or was it something that would have happened anyway? You're also seeing this like crazy uptick in these events happening with kids and stuff over the last like 3-4 years. And I know Elon Musk was getting shit. I think about, which again, this is not the time. Like, I feel like
it wasn't the right time for him to put that out there.
But essentially, if you guys don't know, we're talking about Elon Musk put out a COVID theory, sort of conspiracy theory at the moment, which is that ever since people started getting COVID vaccines, there's been this uptick sort of in these incidents happening in kids.
It's cardiac arrest, the myocarditis.
Yes. And so
is it like a known side effect of the vaccine? But then the medical community goes, yeah, that's not necessarily untrue. However, the myocarditis, or people dying of myocarditis is far higher if you have COVID.
Not necessarily. So in relation to having COVID versus having the vaccine?
So they're saying that it's a more common side effect of COVID than the vaccine is.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I know that's a really big thing now where they're saying this seems to be happening more and more to kids lately, which I don't disagree. I feel like I am seeing. Actually, USC had a student last year go into cardiac arrest at practice and all that stuff. So this is back-to-back years for USC. I don't know what causes it, man. I'm not a doctor. I don't, like, is it our lifestyle now? Is it the food we eat? Is it, exposure to things? Like, who knows? Like, I don't know enough to know about what it is. It's just like you just hope that they catch it and that they can resolve it. And then hopefully we figure out what it is, because we do live in a time where medical care is probably as good as it's ever going to be, or not as it's ever going to be, but as good as it's ever been, rather. But man, it's funny, man. I was thinking about this before. Was like, obviously diet and exercise is really big, and being in good shape is obviously like one of the. We always talk about like having relationships and being social is like a really good factor for longevity.
Yep.
And I think right behind that is like, physical fitness. Like working out has more of an effect on you, and especially weight training, living longer.
Yep.
In terms of like, if you don't work out, like you can increase your life exponentially just by like weightlifting like 90 minutes a week, or like working out 90 minutes a week. But this is something that's been bothering me for a while, is when I think about these like people who are in shape and things, like how many pro athletes live to 100?
Not many.
And
Actually, no, I don't know
none,
any.
bro. I can't think of any. And so, like, I don't know why, but it started going me
But are
down
those
this rabbit
guys
hole.
still doing it in their 70s?
I don't
and
know,
80s?
but isn't the idea that if you do this at the prime of your life, right, like 20s, 30s, 40s, shouldn't it buy you more time? Like, are pro athletes living longer than the average human? Maybe, maybe not. What I don't see is longevity in pro athletes. So is there a point of diminishing returns? And in fact, it's the opposite. Is there a point where it's like too much? Like, is there a point where it's like you have to find this sweet spot? And I'm not saying I think people should absolutely work out. You should absolutely stay in shape.
Yeah.
But is there a point where it's not only diminishing returns, but it's actually detrimental because maybe you're working yourself too hard? Because I'd almost say, like, it's almost like when I see pro athletes, like you see like a Bill Russell or whatever, and they get into like their 80s, that's almost the anomaly, or the 70s or whatever. I don't know what Bill Russell is, but like you see those guys and it's more rare. Like, I don't see a lot of these old like athletes like, and you would think if you're saying that being in shape and working out and all that stuff is like the ultimate thing, then shouldn't they live longer than everybody? And so, and knowing that working out is literally your living, and working out is your career, and working out is like you've done it, you like literally your job is to do it. Shouldn't those folks live longer than all of us, and shouldn't they get into their hundreds? But that's not the case.
Well, Bill Russell was 88 when he passed.
Yeah, that's fucking rare, bro. When I hear about like those guys, like,
But I wonder, like, in these like elite athletes, like, are they still doing stuff into their 70s and 80s, or did they just like, bust their ass so hard over from the time that they were kids up until maybe they're like late 30s, and then they go, okay, enough of that.
Yeah, but then you go like, shouldn't that have bought you? Maybe it did, because the average lifespan is what, like 70 something. So it's like that's about what most of those guys live to. So are they helping our average get higher? Is the average human dying at 52? And it's a 55, and then pro athletes live to 75, and then that's the thing. Because I'm like, I don't know any pro athletes that I know that got into the hundreds, or really like, and the ones that I do know are like baseball players. I can think of like really old baseball players, like Yogi Berra was probably up there, like in his 90s, I think, when he passed. I always think of like some of those guys. I'm like, okay, those guys were out, but I'm like, I can't think of any. And certainly, football players don't live that long.
Yeah, but that's for other reasons.
But right. So like we already know they have an
issue. That's brain.
Basketball players like Bill Russell's the anomaly. Like the rest of these guys die sort of like 60s, 70s. Is there a point there where you just go, yes, you need to work out, you need to have exercise, you need this stuff? Is there a point where it's detrimental, or like it's diminishing returns where it really doesn't matter?
Well, it's funny you brought that up, Mac. I read this article and recently, so I just brought it back up, and it says that researchers studied the lifestyles of like 700,000 Americans and found men who had adopted these 8 things by the age of 40 lived around 24 years longer than those who had not. And then the women lived like 21 years longer. So the 8 things are being physically active, being free from opioid addiction,
Okay.
not smoking, managing stress, having a good diet, not regularly binge drinking. So you can binge drink sometimes.
You can sometimes. So once a week.
So once a week is good. Having good sleep, and having positive social relationships.
Which we talked about. Dude, the sleep thing is one that I've been on lately a lot.
Yeah.
You know me, I was a shitty sleeper, generally.
Mm-hmm.
I've been historically a really bad sleeper. What I'm noticing lately is that I have been prioritizing trying to get more sleep.
Okay.
At least getting myself into bed earlier, and I definitely feel a difference.
So what do you? How long are you sleeping now?
I'm trying to get at least 7.
Okay. So
7
I
to
get
8.
6.
Yeah, so that was my normal. Was like 5 to 6 was my normal before.
See, I do notice that if I'm under 6, I feel it.
Yeah.
If I'm at 6, I'm good.
But that's how I felt. Push yourself to 7, and it gives you like it like unlocks another. I feel like I think I was so used to 6. Well, my thing was always like 5 is like pushing it, or anything less than 6. 6, I'm golden. I started pushing that to like 7, 7.5, and I'm like, oh my god, like 7 and 15 minutes, and it's funny. I've been tracking it. 7 and 15 minutes or so. is like my perfect, like I wake up on my own, I don't need an alarm, I'm ready to go, and everything that day is better. My focus is better, my energy level is better, my mood is better,
that's cool.
Yeah, like everything about it. Like I've been like sort of trying to prioritize that more and more, and I'm like, oh shit, it does. And when I get shitty sleep, I know I'm in for a rough day.
Okay.
So if I get less than 6, it's a really rough day. If I get 6 or more, I'm like, okay, I'm not at my peak. If I get 7 to 7.5, I'm like, I'm gonna have a great day.
Yeah. So on the weekends, like I don't set an alarm, and on those days, my body will typically rest approximately 8 hours.
So so that's probably your ideal like time. It should be probably 8 hours. Then.
Yeah. No,
it should be
I
that.
will not get up at 6. I will not get up after 6 hours on the weekend. During the week, I set an alarm and I don't feel sluggish after 6 hours.
Well, you get used to it.
Yeah, I guess you do. I guess you get used to it. And then plus, I go to the gym first thing in the morning, so like that kind of that really wakes you up, right? Like you get in there, you get the blood pumping and everything. That really wakes you up. But I will say, if there's no alarm, my sweet spot is approximately 8 hours.
Yeah, because there is such thing as too much. Like I have noticed, if I stay in bed too long, like over 8 hours, and I force myself to, like on a weekend, like where I don't have to get up, I'm like force myself to do that like 8 or 9 or whatever. I feel like more tired. Like I feel sluggish. But that sweet spot, it's like that 7, and like on the weekends I could do 7.5 to 8, and I'm like, okay, I'm like really good.
You feel good.
Yeah, I feel great. So I believe that with the whole thing more and more, like some of that stuff, dude. So I wonder, man. I mean, hopefully, this is something for Bronny that they can figure out, but also just in general for people that maybe I felt like it was too soon to speculate. It was kind of weird, like Elon making that comment. Like now, it's like it's not the time or place.
Yeah,
man.
I thought it was weird too, man. But hey, people will be people, right?
Yeah, you're right, bro. Dude, now I'm in fucking trouble, bro, because now you can do the whole thumbs up. Like a judge in Canada has said that like a thumbs up on like a text or like work chat or all that stuff, it constitutes sort of an agreement in a contract. So instead of a signature, the thumbs up.
I better stop doing that.
Bro, I do that shit sarcastically all the fucking time.
I better stop doing that shit.
I almost exclusively use the thumbs up as sarcasm. So I'm like, I am fucked. You know how many contracts I've entered into doing this number?
That's in Canada?
Yeah, it's like a judge in Canada. Yeah, right. I hope it doesn't make its way here. Fuck you, Canada. We got a different finger we're holding up. But like, I'm like, yo, if you get into that shit, I am screwed because I only use a thumbs up as sarcasm.
But is that so? Like, the fuck, man? I gotta go so many different ways with this. Is that? I know he's saying it's sort of like. So I'm assuming he's saying that it's binding.
It is a binding, like, yes to a contract. So if somebody sends you like, hey, we're gonna do and you hit a thumbs up, whether it's through text or say like Teams or Slack or whatever.
Sometimes I'll do it just because I want you to go away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to answer anymore.
I strictly use it as a sarcastic asshole. And now I'm like, fuck, that means I'm agreeing I gotta go back and look up. There should be a way to look up all your thumbs up. Somebody, if you know a way to look up all your thumbs up messages, let me know, because I've agreed to some horrible shit that it's binding now. I'm in trouble, bro.
Dude, finish it off with this Chipotle chick.
Yo,
what's going on?
She might be the greatest Chipotle manager of all time, to be honest with you.
It's a manager?
Yeah, she runs the store. So this bitch named Lucy, evidently from I think it's Fort Myers.
I'm taking notes.
So Lucy from Fort Myers. Yeah, take notes. You might want to find the Chipotle. So a Chipotle location in Fort Myers, Florida, is going viral after several Yelp reviews had people's wives essentially saying Lucy, all she does is fuck married men. And the greatest shit about these reviews, it'll be like, yo, the guac was tasty, except for the bitch that stole my husband. So I started wondering, like, yo, are people just doing this shit to be funny? Because it would be like, don't send your husbands here to pick up Chipotle. Next thing you know, Lucy is going to seduce them into sleeping with her like she has multiple married men. You have guac to be kidding me, is what somebody said. First off, Evan K. Evan? Did you send your husband there? Then maybe your husband didn't like the kind of food you were putting out or whatever, equipment, because Evan sounds like a dude.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe Lucy just carried different equipment that you don't carry, buddy. But there's several reviews of this, and it's going viral of like people knowing that the chick that runs this store is like banging, I guess, is seducing married men.
That's insane. It's
kind of odd.
And then so, you know what I would like to see? Did you see what she looks like?
No,
So
I couldn't find a picture.
They didn't
of her.
show any of that.
I tried. I couldn't find a picture of her. I could find his reviews. So I think we should take a field trip to Fort Myers and find this Chipotle for research for the pod, and see what we can get out from this.
If we leave now, we could be there in 3 hours.
You right? Cut it, bro. What do you do at a Chipotle? How does that even
come up?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does that even come up? I'm trying to think of like ways
Like,
that you could cleverly like.
What I have found in most Chipotles is people that go inside, because there is no drive-through, right? In Chipotle?
No, not that I know. Yeah, no.
I think so.
Not any of the ones that I've seen.
I feel like there's one that's near me that might have one. But either way, if you go inside,
Yeah.
most people are going inside, they're getting in line, they're grabbing their shit, or they're ordering online and go inside and grabbing it. Is this only the guys that are sitting in the place and spending time?
It has to be, right? Because they're trying to get you the fuck out of there.
For the most part,
So
yeah.
are you sitting there and you're waiting for Lucy to come change the sweet tea out of the container, and then you're like, hey, and then she's like, I don't know, what the fuck do you even say, bro? Oh, would you like double meat? And
Be like, you gotta order the triple meat.
you gotta order the.
That's how Lucy knows.
Would you like the off-menu enchilada? I don't even know how
You get the chips without the salsa.
without queso only. So weird, bro. I'm like, the shit that makes the news these days is so bizarre, man.
That's fucked up,
It's
man.
so bizarre, man. But all the bitches that were mad on Yelp, I think, made it funnier, man. That they were just going, all the bad reviews, all the men were leaving great
there's
reviews.
a ton.
Yeah,
There's a ton of
except
these.
for this Evan person. Maybe Evan, or maybe it's even. Maybe it's a girl. But most of the reviews, the horrible reviews, are women. The great ones are left by men. They're like she's super, like Lucy's super attentive.
nice.
Shout out to Lucy.
You get a fucking happy ending with that bowl.
You get a happy with the burrito bowl.
Shout out to Lucy.
Shout out to Lucy at Chipotle, Fort Myers.
Yo, on that, tell them where they can find us.
Man. Yo, at the Carbon Football Podcast on IG, Carbon FP Pod on Twitter, Carbon Football Pod on TikTok, the Carbon Football Podcast on Facebook and YouTube, and then all your favorite audio streaming platforms. So we are on Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, TuneIn, JioSaavn, Ghana, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podchaser, Pocket Cast, and I think Podchaser might be closing down soon, so check it out. I think Pocket Cast might be done soon. So
Really?
yeah, if you're using those, switch over, go to one of the other platforms, Apple or Spotify or whatever, Google Podcasts. So yeah, check it out, and shout out for the support on the clips and giving us drink ideas and all that stuff. We got a couple of them, but we'll try. But yeah, man, I love the engagement on the videos. It's been fun. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And as always, we appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week.
see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.